Hello, hello, Byte Fox. Hello, everybody. Yeah, say goodbye to Zine. I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. Not long, actually. I released the standalone version not that long ago, but it's all now switching to Python. I will explain in a moment what's going on. Pine, whatever it is, call it Pine. Why would you want to? Why do you want to call it Pine? Oh, I see. Python design. I see. Okay. Do-do-do. Let's add some purple ambience. Actually, it should be green given that it's Python, but yeah. Oh, you don't say much. No, it's still too much light outside. Okay, so hello 25th. Good morning to you as well. Well, not really morning for me. It's almost 6 p.m., but yeah. Python is blue and yellow. Yes, and if you mix blue and yellow, you get purple. Right? Hello, Neil Pointer. Also, I should show this to people. Look what I have. I have tea in a pot and I have a cup, and this has not been microwaved. I bought a proper loose leaf tea and I'm now enjoying it. The proper way. Yeah. It took me a while, but I got tired of chugging the same crappy stuff, and so I upgraded. I mean, we're upgrading. We're upgrading everything. We're upgrading from Zig to Python, so everything is gonna get better. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. Uh, here's the idea. The idea is I I am going to make a talk about Zine, and the point about Zine is that it is almost entirely written from scratch. The only two things that are not written from scratch are three-seater and the CMark markdown parser. Everything else I made myself. So, or maybe not every single thing people have contributed. So some of it has also been contributed by nice contributors, but it's handmade, let's say. So here's the idea. In my talk, I want to showcase, I want to kind of make this parallel of doing everything from scratch versus doing the standard approach. Like, if you were to create a static site generator tomorrow, I mean, well, maybe I shouldn't say if you. By the way, this is like a general, non-specific you, but like, it would not be surprising to find out that when people are decide that they want to make a static site generator, it's not surprising to think to expect them to take just a bunch of dependencies and glue them together to make the static site generator, right? So long story short, basically my plan is to make a static site generator with the opposite philosophy that I use for Zine. So we don't program anything ourselves that we don't have to, and we use as many dependencies as we can, with the only caveat that we do not import like an already made SSG. If there's like an entirely made SSG as a library, we don't just import that one. We do we try to do the least amount of work possible. You should have used JavaScript for this. So I've been considering this. Yeah, we're going full vibe coding. We're not it's not even that. You know what? I think this is an interesting point to make. We could go full vibe coding and not even touch the editor and basically have some of the stupid AIs do that for us entirely. We could go that route also, which probably I would expect that to work out. I feel, I'm not an expert, but I feel fairly confident that if we took a, state-of-the-art AI of that kind today, so like, a decent one, I think that thing could probably get us from start to finish, with some adjustments along the way, but I feel like it would totally be able to do that. But no, we're not going full vibe coding. We're just going normal coding, because this is kind of the interesting thing. I feel like in the Zig community, in the Zig ecosystem, it's not unique to us, but ours is one community where people tend to write things from scratch fairly often. Hey, Porkishing well. So we tend to write things from scratch fairly often. We don't hate dependencies. People do use dependencies, thank fucking God. But at the same time, people don't shy away from, a challenge from time to time. But the reality is that normally people, if you're an average Python developer, again, I'm choosing Python. I'm not really hating on Python. I should point out that I don't hate Python. And maybe if we end up using JavaScript, I don't hate JavaScript either. But I do think that on average, and I say this also thinking about my experience programming back when I was a Python developer, but people used to do this. Like, this is normal. I'm not even proposing vibe coding. I'm proposing normal coding, right? It's like, do you, okay, poll for the people in chat. When is the last time that you wrote an HTML parser? When is the last time that you wrote a markdown parser? By the way, me, never. So I'm not trying to say, hey, Lucas, yep, sorry. Look, if you're willing to if you're willing to rag, you gotta be open to getting ragged. Yesterday while on the toilet because I was bored. So, like, the reality is that you normally do not write a HTML parser from scratch when you want to make a static site generator. You do not come up with your own funky JSON alternative language with its own schema language and tooling from scratch, right? You don't go that route. You just glue together tools that already exist, that are battle tested, that have stars on GitHub and stuff. So that's basically what I want to do now. I want to use so from my perspective, it's either Python or parser generators, right? By the way, in my book, fucking parser generators are pretty much the same as adding a random dependency. Like, I don't like those things. They are disappointing, man. I kind of If only I had known how shitty those things are. They're not horrible, but like how overused parser generators are, man, that really brings a very different perspective when I think back of my university lectures when I was younger. In any case, so this is the plan. The plan is we make a static site generator. So we have to choose between Python and JavaScript, right? Because I think if we're making something like this, you know, we could be cheeky and we could use Rust for this, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm better than that. I'm not gonna use Rust. It's either gonna be Python or it's gonna be JavaScript. Okay. You can do nice things in Rust too. Why not spend the time doing something useful in Zig instead? Dude, which time have you spent doing useful things in Python instead, Prasnet? Let's hear, huh? In any case, maybe you weren't here in the beginning for the explanation, but the reason why I'm doing this is not just to entertain you people. If you watch this stream for long enough, you realize that these streams are 100% not designed to entertain the viewers, not at all. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want, in a talk that I need to give in a month, more or less, I want to be able to showcase two different approaches. One, where you do things the way I did with Zine, where you write everything from scratch and you have full control over pretty much everything, versus the more, I would say, mainstream approach of just gluing dependencies together and see, compare and contrast. Obviously, the expectation, the argument is that doing things from scratch can be worth it, while gluing dependencies together gets you somewhere, but it doesn't get you, all the way there. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be awesome, and I'm just gonna right-click delete Zine and just pass to switch to this new thing. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna use Rust for this. Now the question is it gonna be Python or is it gonna be JavaScript? Now here's how I wouldn't mind some help from chat. I imagine you guys have preferences, but I'm not gonna have some kind of vote where we choose the language that way. I would argue my choice of language should be based on which ecosystem has the better dependencies. So, what would we be better off using, Python or JavaScript? TypeScript? TypeScript. You know what? Maybe TypeScript. Okay, if it's JavaScript, then I'm gonna use TypeScript. So here's how it works. You know what? I'm not interested in opinions. I'm interested in links. So let me explain my requirements a little bit better. So here's what I want. I need for sure why am I drawing? We don't need to draw. We can write. So we're gonna need markdown to HTML. We're gonna need a library for that. Then we're gonna need a templating library. Then we're gonna need, actually, you know what? Static site generators are kind of simple as fuck. So markdown to HTML templating library. So we already covered like 90% of what a static site generator does. We're gonna need to recurse directories, so we could do that manually, but some kind of recursive directory walker. If it's a library, it's better. Honestly, that's already kind of it, right? Then we could bolt more features on top, but CLI parsing library, that is a good point. Wouldn't want to parse those manually, right? Disgusting. So yeah, CLI args. Although I would expect both Python and JavaScript to be decent at that. Is docopt still considered good in Python? If I remember correctly, docopt is the one that parses your doc strings. Not your doc strings, like your basically CLI help menu, and then kind of like clap does, I think. Oh yeah, right, YAML. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Good point. This is maybe kinda part of it. I don't know. We'll have to also to figure out how to integrate these libraries, right? Markdown to HTML, and then lovely YAML. Which JS runtime would you be using, Node or Bun? I don't know. I feel like Bun would make the thing faster, so maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should to give it a fair chance. I don't know. Using Markdown as a Python library. Import Markdown. Okay, so this is a dependency. Markdown, and Markdown from file, which both wrap the class Markdown. Does this guy do also extensions? Does it do front matters? Dude, I am not going to implement extensions myself. There is just no fucking way. Either you give me this out of the box, or I'm not gonna do it. Maybe we should use Dino. Yeah. Where's the front matter stuff? Oh my god, it's not mentioned. Right. Are those people crazy? Do they expect me to parse the front matter? Oh, there's an existing metadata extension. Oh shit, but it's not, yeah. I've come to the conclusion that it's better to process front matter with a separate data processor rather than an extension to the parser itself. Therefore, I've created doc data which can handle multi-markdown style metadata as well as YAML data. The fuck is multi-markdown? Transformer date. Oh, this is multi-markdown? Okay, so far Python has, okay, so for Python, okay, copy. So let's see. Python. Front matter. Then. Man, we gotta spend time choosing the perfect dependency. How many stars does this thing have? 4K. That's good enough for me. Okay, we need HTML templating. So I think we should go for Jinja, right? Jinja is at version 3. Well, Jinja 2? But it's 3. We're at version 3. Wait, is this version 3 of Jinja 1? And then we have Jinja 2, which is better. No, there's Jinja 2, but wait. But this is all Jinja. No, I think Jinja 3 is the latest and greatest. Oh, it started at 2. What happened to version 1? Disappeared. Okay, so Jinja. Okay, so this is not bad. Let's see if there's anything else. Python, Markdown, parser. Marco. That's a nice name, Marco. Nice. You know, these are like medals. You know how admirals used to have like a bunch of like things there, like that's our equivalent. That's the open source software developer equivalent of that. Homepage. Let's go. Marco, 390 stars. That's not a ton though. Extensions footnote. Extend Marco. Footnote talk Pangu. Pangu? Code highlight? What? Oh, there we go. GFM. Yeah, sorry, Zorgatone. This is a Python or a JavaScript stream. We don't know yet. We are shopping for dependencies. And honestly, I'm not above choosing Ruby if that turns out to be the better choice. Although, nah, I think it's gonna be this is Perl on the table. No, please, no. That's for my own sanity. JS/TS. Okay, so honestly, why Marco? Let's see. Of all the Python markdowns, markdown parsers available, a common issue is the difficulty for users to add their own features. Additionally, both Python Markdown and Mistune do not comply with common mark specifications. This has prompted me to develop a new Markdown parser. When was this done? Weeks ago? 10 months ago? 7 years ago? Jesus. Okay, Mistune. What's Mistune? What are we trying to make with these tools? Check it out. It's written up here. 2.8 thousand stars. Okay, is the website good? The website is fancy. Let's see. How to use Mistune. Oh, just mark down the thing. Create markdown escape equals false. Plugins equals strike through. Customize renderer. Abstract syntax tree. Built-in plugins. Strike through footnotes, table, URL, task list, def list, abbreviation, mark, insert, superscript, subscript, math, Ruby, spoiler. That is not bad, but I think this covers all of GFM actually. Okay, so we know in case we don't like the other one, we have this one. Okay. So far, Python looks good actually. Okay, TypeScript / JavaScript. What do you guys have? Any recommendations? Markdown parser JavaScript. Mark.js. 34,000 stars. Jesus. That is a ton. And it's built for speed. But it's also a low-level compiler for parsing Markdown without caching or blocking for long periods of time. That sounds fancy. Lightweight, also. Wow. While implementing all of Markdown features from the supported flavors and specifications. Interesting. Works in the browser, on a server, and from the CLI. Not bad. And it's some JavaScript, some TypeScript, and some HTML. It's a pretty balanced split, I would even say. Check out the demo page to see Marked in action. Okay. Cool. Options, extensibility, compatibility. Node.js. Only current and LTS Node.js versions are supported. End-of-life Node.js versions may be incompatible. Browser, not Internet Explorer 11. Yeah. CLI, in browser. Warning. Marked does not sanitize the output HTML. Please use a sanitized library like DOM Purify, recommended sanitized HTML, or Insane on the output HTML. So it does not sanitize the output HTML. Okay, that has to do with, yeah, because they support inline HTML in Markdown, right? So like you can put HTML tags. Why would you sanitize the output? I thought you were asking why would the library not offer that feature? So here's here's why you might want to sanitize the output. If the Markdown content has been provided to you by users that you don't fully trust, like imagine that you have a website where you publish blog posts written by users, or like comments even that they write in Markdown, then this Markdown parser does support putting inline HTML in Markdown. Like Markdown normally supports putting inline HTML in the Markdown. And so in that case, you would want to sanitize that. That said, this whole approach is surprising to me because what they're doing is not saying, look, okay, so let me try to explain why this is like mind-blowingly bad in my mind. They're not suggesting that as the Markdown parser parses Markdown, it will encounter Markdown syntax, and Markdown syntax is safe. But when I say that, I mean basically Markdown syntax that is not inline HTML. Everything else is safe. You can use stars for, bold or italic, and bold or italic is safe. You can have headings, and headings are safe. So all this stuff is fine. The only thing that might need sanitization is inline HTML. So what you want to do is run a HTML sanitizer on the inline HTML node, but I'm not sure they suggest this, because what they are suggesting, I might be wrong, and maybe there's a way. No, yeah, never mind. We can see it here. So what they're suggesting is that first you parse everything, and then after you're done parsing everything, only then you run purify sanitize, DOM purify.sanitize on the entire output. And if you do that, you're checking a bunch of HTML that never needed to be checked in the first place. Why are they suggesting this? Does that make sense to everybody else? Do you also agree that this is such a weird approach to this problem? That really leaves me confused, because I get it that if you're maybe like in my position, I'm trying to glue libraries together to get my static site generator off the ground. So I'm gonna do dumb stuff. But if you're the author of this library, why would you not put in an option to run a callback on just inline HTML? Because you need to parse Markdown before parsing HTML, how do you split it? Actually, here's the funny thing. Actually, no, you don't even need to do that. You could even take, to get usable output. Actually, no, never mind. I take this back. No, first of all, this is categorically wrong. You can run an HTML sanitizer on a Markdown file and it will work correctly, because Markdown syntax looks like plain text to an HTML parser, and the HTML tags inside your Markdown will correctly look like HTML tags and will be analyzed by your sanitizer. So yes, you can totally run a sanitizer on the full Markdown file. Now, is that like a good idea? Probably not necessarily, but you can, and it works. But the point is that the parser, so you're saying, how do you split it? That's what the parser does, right? The parser knows how to split it. Like, the parser knows how to build an AST. So the parser knows which sections, like this string is supposed to be marked down, except that it happens to be entirely just HTML. And yeah, anyway. So kind of flabbergasting. Do they actually fully tokenize HTML as well? No. I think it's closer to what you described with Skip It. As far as I'm aware, they probably have some rudimentary tokenization. So I honestly don't know what the spec says. I don't know if the spec requires define the HTML as exactly being HTML or not. But they probably have some. In practice, I would expect most parsers to basically have, an understanding that if you open a tag and then you close the tag, and you do that correctly, then that's HTML. That's my expectation. And when I say tag, to be clear, I don't mean like here, I'm saying that this is a tag and this is a tag. So I'm not talking about opening an element and then closing the element. I'm talking about like this will be recognized as an HTML thingy, and this will be recognized as an HTML thingy. I'm not 100% sure, and I may be wrong, but I've seen in general, like I don't know in this case because this is all in line, but in general, I've seen that with Markdown, the way Markdown parsers interpret HTML, they understand broken fragments of HTML where it's like just a tag that opens and it never closes, and that is just a node, an HTML, inline HTML node, and that contains malformed HTML, but the thing is fine. It does recognize it as HTML, it leaves it at that, and like you could have two different nodes, and one opens a tag, and it opens like a AP, and then you have another node somewhere else, very down below, that closes that P, and individually they're both wrong syntax, but then if you output them verbatim, you do get a correct P element that opens at some point and closes after a while, and that works. You can make that happen. You might think that the parser kind of recognizes that these two things are like part of the same element. Nah, it does not. It doesn't care normally. So it's kind of funny. In any case, 34,000 stars. That's awesome. This is not awesome. This is like, I don't know. This leaves me surprised. Let's just put it that way. Used by 1.4 million dependencies. 1.4 million repositories depend on this thing. There's 1.4 million repositories out there that validate, that skip the sanitize their HTML after the fact. Do you need user input HTML and sanitize? I don't really need it, but it could be a nice to have feature. So, okay, so I guess if we're going JavaScript, we're using this one. There's also Evil Streak Markdown JS, 7,000 stars. So this one is also pretty big, but nowhere near as big as the other one. Intermediate representation. Whoa. Building and testing Markdown JS. Okay, marked. Does this thing support front matter? I was so captured by all the features that I forgot to check if it supports options. Let's see. Async. If true walk tokens functions can be async, and mark.parse will return a promise that resolves when all walk tokens functions resolve. Breaks GFM. If true, use approved GFM specification. Pedantic, render, silent, tokenizer, walk tokens, old options. Front matter? Keyword not found. Man, why? Why is it like this? Extensibility. There we go. Set options based on front matter. From import FM from front matter. That's a different library, isn't it? Oh shit. JXSON. 600 stars. These modules does not do any IO like file loading or reading, only extracting and parsing from matter from strings. This concept was originally introduced to me through the Jekyll blogging system, and it's pretty useful when you want to be able to easily add metadata. Yeah. Okay. Allow unsafe. So I guess this is going to be our front matter thing. Okay, and what would be a good JavaScript templating library then? I guess we could still try to use Jinja from from JavaScript, or maybe we could switch to something like Mustache, maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure. So it supports rendering. I think Mustache might be too minimalistic. If I remember correctly, Mustache doesn't even have like branching, does it not? Handlebars? What's the other one? Handlebars JS. Minimal templating on steroids. Why is on steroids supposed to be a good thing? It's like, no man, being on steroids is actually not that nice. Do you want to eat meat that was on steroids? No, you kind of don't. Do you think it's better when a bodybuilder or something is on steroids? I mean, yeah, they will be gigantic, but I mean, it's not good for their health. So it's like, I don't know, on steroids it's not such a good thing. Something to keep in mind. And I don't understand why it at some point meant something positive. Weird. So what is handlebars? Simple templating language. Let's see. Language features. Boop boop. Boop 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 boop. Branching or something? Block helpers. There we go. Built-in helpers. If. Okay, so there's if, unless, each with lookup. Each people, each. Man, this looks so ugly, but yep. That seems fine. So okay, I guess if it's JavaScript, it would have to be this one. Honestly, so far, I think I would have a better time with Python than JavaScript. I think. I mean, it's definitely feasible in both cases. But yeah, I'm leaning Python, honestly. Oh, drinking the last of my tea. For Python, you need to select the package manager. True. I think everybody is using UV now, right? That's the cool new thing. Maybe we should just use UV. Yeah, the problem with JavaScript is that, I don't know, it feels like it has way too many knobs, and Python feels like it has fewer knobs, and by having fewer knobs, our attempt, which is designed to not be particularly good, it's going to be, how can I say, not great in a more honest way than maybe it would be with JS. Because with JS, you could always say, well, but did you use async? But did you use this thing? But did you use that thing? But did you use that? And it's like it's never fucking ending. So Python seems better from that perspective. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm satisfied. So let's make it a repo. It should be a private repo though. I don't want to leave this out in the wild. New repository, private repository, blazingly fast Python SSG. Or maybe we should leave it public and just put a proper warning. You know what? Since this is gonna be crappy things, something crappy, let's go with the GPL. Python and a README file. I just started a new website with Hugo. Am I going to have to change? Yes, but not to this thing. Change to zine-ssg.io. I'm actually not joking, especially if you did it with Hugo. Try it now. Like right now it's a great time to try out Zine. You will have probably a decent time using it. And if you're not doing anything too complicated, then chances are that you might not even miss anything that Hugo has. There are features that Hugo has that Zine does not have. So if you depended on any of those, then yeah, you will feel that something is missing. But if you haven't, then you should be fine. And I mean, I'm talking about like, I don't know. Yeah, if it's a very basic blog, even if it's not very basic, you would still be totally fine. So yeah, go do that and have a good time and let me know how it went. Also post a link. We have a Discord server. Come in Discord and post a link to your blog. Okay, Blazingly fast Python SSG. Man, how do you begin even? I don't even know. Git clone. BFPG or something. I don't know. BFPS. Python UV. This is the website. zinessg.io with a dash in the middle. Extremely fast Python package manager written in Rust. Right. Installation. Okay. Well, YOLO. Time to curl pipe sh. Time to curl pipe sh stuff in my kernel. Let's go. Everything is installed. Oh, he put it inside .local/bean, which is not wrong, but I don't think I have it in my path. So hx config fish, config.fish. I have the cargo bean. I have user local bean, but I don't have user / Christoph .local / bean. There we go. Now we have UE. Run a command or script. Create a new project. I guess we want UV in it. Yep. Python version, I guess. I don't know. License, delightful. README. Yep. Project. Blazing fast Python SSG. Yeah, add your description here. Do not use. Okay. Next. We want doc data and we want markdown. UV add markdown. Am I gonna get the right thing? I don't even know. So here's something that I find interesting. When people come to Zig and they start using Zig for the first time, they ask immediately, wait, where's the package index? And the answer is there's no package index. Go out in the wild and find your package. And everybody is like, well, not everybody, but some people are like flabbergasted at this idea because they are not used to the concept that what do you mean? How can there not be, this one centralized index that contains all the packages that were ever created for this language? And the answer is such thing does not exist for any language. Like there is no one centralized package index that contains all existing packages in that language. It doesn't exist. You can make one, and it might contain the vast majority of packages that exist, but there will always be people out there that make packages that you could import if you wanted to, that maybe do cool things that would be useful to you, but who are not listed in the official package index. So this whole mental idea where it's like, oh man, if this centralized package index doesn't exist, then I'm never gonna be able to discover all existing packages. And it's like, yeah, dude, that is the human condition. That is the universe that you live in. You will never be able to learn to discover every single fucking package for any language. It's part of life. Somebody somewhere has made a cool package and they never posted it on GitHub. They never put it on Hacker News. And like some people know that it exists, but just not you. And it's like it's life. That's how it works, man. So now what is funny for me is that now I'm experiencing the inverse reaction where it's like, wait, I'm adding markdown. Which fucking markdown am I even adding? Like even the install thing doesn't tell me who the author is. I mean, I'm sure that there must be some kind of like UV, I don't know, info and or not. Dude, please tell me that there is something like that. Maybe search. Maybe 3. Maybe UV3 will tell me. So the package manager just doesn't even think that you might want to know more about your package, right? And I don't know. Let's go to PyP, I guess. Markdown. Is this the one that I thought I was installing? It even shows me. Is this it? I'm guessing this is it. Oh, they put it with an uppercase M, but then it's case insensitive. That's another delightful aspect of this experience, I should say. Oh, they even suggest here they themselves suggest that you import it with a lowercase m. but the package is uppercase M. So hopefully we got what we were hoping to get. Okay, so we have markdown. Then what else do we need? Doc data. So here, you see what's funny is that, man, in my mind, I don't want to install a random package, right? I want to install a package. I want to install the package that I want to install. So now I discovered this package here on GitHub. Wait a second, this guy has 4 stars. The fuck? Can we get something better than 4 stars? Sorry, I don't mean to be, you know, I'm kind of on purpose being superficial about everything. So I'm not reading the code, which is what you should actually do if you want to evaluate a dependency for real. But I'm just sticking to evaluate the number of stars. Like, is there really nothing better than 4 stars? Come on. Python front matter. Wait, what was that thing? Mistune was kind of fancy. So also that, you know what? Nothing prevents us from having 2 markdown parsers in our code base if we wanted to. They can't stop us. Python front matter, import front matter. Yeah, that seems nice. Front matter.load or load from text. Load S. If the file has a bomb, strip it off first. Is by using the UTF-8-SIG encoding. Okay. And then there's post.content. Okay. Yeah, I think this is it. I think that's our boy. 358 stars. I'll take it, I guess. So that's UV add front matter. Add spy YAML, right? Resolve 4 packages in 972 milliseconds. Prepare 2 packages in 746 milliseconds. Install 2 packages in less than 1 millisecond. Okay. Yeah, we're star maxing, of course. Is there a command to remove a dependency? What? Wait, what are you talking about? What does that even mean? Okay, for matter, PyYAML and Jinja. Installation. Pip install Jinja 2, but we are at version 3. So you still install Jinja 2 if you want version 3. Okay. UV add Jinja 2, and that gives me version 3. Yeah, right. Okay, so we're good. Right, we need to recurse directories. I don't want to do that by hand. Python recurse directory filter file extension package. How to filter hundreds of files by extension in Python. I mean, what does filtering hundreds of files in Python even mean? It's like, do you need to do extra work because it's hundreds of files? Is hundreds there supposed to mean a lot of files? If it's thousands of files, then this approach is not going to be good enough. And is it overkill if it's only 10 files? Like, okay, so this is just the code. Plus a demo. Okay. I don't want to write this stuff myself, though. Okay, I know who to ask. Gemini, come to me. Recommend a Python package that helps me scan directories recursively and only filters and that lets me filter files by extension. Must be a package that I can install from IP. Regex? Honestly, well, no, it's not regex because regex is they can do filtering, but they can do the recursing. But it is a good suggestion. We might want to plop in there some regexes for good measure, right? Ends with? What the fuck is ends with? Star.py, right? Well, you can find. Son of a bitch, dude. I asked you one thing. While you can find packages in PyP that might wrap this functionality, the most standard Python and recommended approach is to use. That is not what I asked you. It's now it's doing it. List all files recursively. Let's go. Is this really a thing? wait, is it conceptual example based on PyPy description? Is this actually a thing? I mean, it did say that it was checking. Yo, it's there. MIT license, so we're good to go. This license provides this function to retrieve information about files in a given folder and its subfolders. The function get folder file complete also 0 stars. Yeah, that's a tough sell though, right? 0 stars, that's kind of tough. List of from list of files recursively, import get folder file complete path. Get folder file complete path, folders, blah, 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 for file in F. Okay. I said that I didn't want to read code, but if a package has 0 stars and you don't really know what's in there, I have to read it, in case it contains some kind of virus or something. So let's see. Imports OF. From collection imports named tuple, imports pathlib. Name tuple, class name core, fields core. What's the COR? Get folder file complete path, folders max subfolders -1. It's going to provide the function to retrieve information about files in a given folder, blah, blah, blah. Okay, args, folders, a string or a list of strings representing folder paths to retrieve file information from. Max subfolders, optional integer delimits the maximum number of subfolders. Yeah. Returns a list of name tuple. Each name tuple contains information about the file found in the folder and its subfolders, including the folder path, file name, complete file path, and file extension. Oh, it gives me the file extension. Missed opportunity for using regular expressions. But such is life. If is instance folders of string, then wraps it in a thing. Okay. OS path, normal path for X in folders. Make it a set. Make it a list. folders is a list comprehension of path dot exists. And then we filter itself again with path dot is there. So if you pass something that isn't a directory or that it doesn't exist, it silently drops it. I mean, for the non-existent case, I maybe understand. For the is not a directory case, I can see the logic a little bit. Like you just want to make it, tentative. I want to scan these directories, and it's like it's a try scan basically. So that's fine. It's just I don't know. It's just silently dropping stuff. Okay. List of files. Number. Check depth is false. For each directory in folders, in maximum folders, greater than -1, then it counts slashes in one sense plus slashes in the other sense on the path at every loop. If limit is lower than check depth equals true, walk their name if check depth talk, else depth talk equals true. RA file path infos. Where is file path infos coming from? Pathlib, I'm guessing. Their path file, OS norm path, pathlib.path. No, wait, these things are qualified. Oh, right. This is the right. This is the type that they define. It's the name tuple that they define. So it makes a new name tuple with their path. Oh, right. The fields are then named. Oh, now I get it. Like these are the field names, right? So the name of the tuple is file, and then it contains folder, file path, ext. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it does all those things, and then it extends if array. So if this is not empty, if it returns something. Also, if we go past the depth, it still does things, but then it filters them out in a sense. I don't know. Again, keys. And then it returns the list of files too. Okay. Well, this works. Yeah, this works. We're doing it. We're doing it. Feels good, man. Okay, we have also our recursive thing. That's delightful. And yeah, now it's time for us to get into the fray. Honestly, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't going to vibe code, but you know what? Maybe just a little bit of help from Gemini wouldn't hurt, I think. So, Main Zig, Main Pie. Hello from Blazingly Python SSG. I mean, this stays there. It's just too good. Okay, so this is going to be our starting thing. Then what do we want to do next? So we do need to implement the CLI and everything else, right? For sure. But let's start by scanning an input directory. And so we could have a config file, or we could hard code it. Maybe we accept this from the CLI. You know what we need? We need one of those things where you can pass in the options in the C as a config file, or you can pass in the options in the CLI or as environment variables. Does anybody remember what are these things, like a name of a library that does this? we might as well put it in at this point. I think the Go had one like this that was named something like Toxic, maybe. I don't remember. Config parser. Maps and sequence consistency between product configuration to the other. No. Donfig. Oh, I think this might be it. Donfig is a Python library meant to make configuration easier for other Python packages. Donfig can be configured programmatically by environment variables or from YAML files in startup locations. If you want fancy, just use click. What's click? Nah, this seems too manual. Sorry, no, it's not too manual. The other thing was going to be manual too, but this doesn't have the config aspect to it, does it? It does mvars, does it? But it doesn't do config files. Donfig seems to do or YAML files in startup locations. It looks fine, but it has only 38 stars. Come on, there has to be an alternative. Oh, Gemini is gonna let me know. Let's say popular Python package for loading for having a unified system to load CFG to load a config file from disk, get CLI options, and also env variables. I don't know. I didn't ask this in the nicest way, but I think it's gonna be able to figure it out. Yeah, but click doesn't have a config file, does it? The problem is that it doesn't have a it doesn't have a config. It doesn't seem to have a config file. So I also want a config file. Yeah, you're gonna suggest that I write code. I bet you. Yeah, you're asking me to do programming, huh? So that's how you solve it. As if this were a actually viable solution, man. Let's see what Gemini has to offer. Huh? Oh no, it bugged out. It completely bugged out. Bro. Google doesn't know how to do search anymore. Oh no. Go has something like this. I think it's called Talks. No, I'm saying something dumb. It's not called Talks. I no, this is the Talks thing in Python. Oh man, it's something to do with venom and like snakes or something like this. Config CLI env full text TUI dependency for a progress bar. Oh, Viper, that's the name. Yes, Viper. You see, Viper. Go configuration with fangs. I don't know what that is supposed to mean, but yeah, it's like setting defaults, reading from JSON, TOML, YAML, HL, M file, Java properties, config file. reading from environment variables, config systems, command line flags. Yeah. So Viper. Python equivalent of Go Viper. Alex2, all is well. Thank you. It's fine. You're fine. Yo, wait. Yo. Python configuration with even more fangs. Let's go. Pipeline name change. The package changes name from Viper to Viper config on August 18. Viper is now used by the following project. Viper config package is available on PyPy. Oh. Pythonic smart contract language for the EVM, 5,000 stars. Not a ton of stars, if I have to be honest. But let's see, how does it work? Set default, set config name. Yeah, this is good. I feel like this is good. I feel like this is good. I'm going for it. Viper config. I said that I was going to write code and then I was done adding dependencies. I lied. UV, just one more, okay? Just one more dependency. I'm gonna stop, I promise. Just one more dependency. What was it? Viper config. This is actually nice because it added a bunch of other dependencies. The other dependencies that we added, I noticed they in turn didn't really add that many dependencies, which is kind of disappointing, honestly. What was the other Mistune? No, Mistune didn't add anything. I don't want Mistune. UV remove Mistune. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's see. UV3. Not bad. You can see now our dependency tree is now flourishing. We're like, it's now finally looking from just a tiny, scrawny, tiny sapling. It's now we're growing into a nice full tree. Okay. I guess now we can do the programming. So main.py, hello from Blazingly Fast Python SSG. So let's start with the CLI, right? Establishing defaults, reading config files, set config name a config file without extension, config path dot read in config, find and read the config file. Okay, so set config name. Config name, we want to call it Blaze. Add config path, current directory. I don't think we're going to support anything else. That seems fine. Actually, you know what? We can make it a function, right? Good encapsulation. So load config. What is that semicolon doing there? Man, I'm such a silly goose. Def load CFG colon paste indent the indent. Okay, so add config path dot oh shit, we lost the other one. V dot, oh, what was it? Set config name, right? Blazing. I forgot what I had there. Blazy. You know what? I like Blazy. Okay. Reading config. We need to import v. Import Viper as v, I think. Then we set defaults. We do not set defaults. Watching and reloading config files. Watch config. On config file change call F. Yeah. Set config type. Okay. You can also implement your own required configuration source and feed it to Viper. Any approach to require this configuration? Reconfig get. This would be Steve. What? Oh, I guess this is another way of providing a standard thing or something. I don't know. Setting overrides. This would be from a command line argument or from your own application logic. Registering and using aliases. Working with environment variables. Command line arguments. Oh, you have to write them down explicitly. No, that is. Nah, come on, man. Accessing nested keys. Viper or Vipers? I don't know. Well, okay. Hopefully this is going to be good enough and it works. So below the config, we write down that stuff, and then what do? I guess let's start by scanning a content directory, right? So we want to say const content. What am I doing? Content. There is going to be content there path is going to be v dot. What were we saying? Get, right? You just do get. V dot get content there path. And then we need help from our other dependency. Where is it? List all files recursively. I have to say one thing though. This package name is just too long. Like I'm using this to save keystrokes, and then they have like this super complicated import thing. I don't know. Hello, MLAG. We're going blazingly fast. You have no idea how fast we're going. So how am I supposed to use it? Also, why is it FI? What does FI stand for? I don't get it. What does FI stand for? I don't. Files? This is like looping over the first 10 files. Okay. Okay, content there path. So we. I think we need to have we need to use a list comprehension at this point, right? Honestly, you know what? I feel like I'm also wasting lines. Why am I binding this thing to a variable when I could just replace it in there, right? And then we say get folder file complete path, and then we do md files is gonna be x for x in files if x dot ext equals md, I think. So with this, we have all markdown files. And you know what? For now, let's just print them all and that's it. So print md files. And for now, this is our program for now. Now we need to be able to invoke this bad boy on something. So mkdir test. Can I create a UV command? I think if we can create a UV command in here, I think it wouldn't be bad. Let's see. UV Python. How do you create commands? Because then I will be able to invoke it from another directory. That's kind of my main thing. Features. Run. Running scripts. Can I do UV run and then assume UV run? The following commands are available in the environment. But in here, I should be able to specify another command, right? No project with. Standard format for inline script metadata. Jesus, no, come on. No, that's not what I want. I think I'm in the wrong section. Using a shebang alternative indexes, locking dependencies in. No. Tools? Tool run. No. Projects. Running commands. I think we're getting there. Requesting additional dependencies running scripts. No, we're not there. Just add a run step to the build project in your build.py. I don't have a build.py. I have a main.py. I have a pyproject.toml. I guess the question is more than a. I'm asking maybe the wrong question. Maybe I shouldn't be asking what can UV do for me. I should ask what can pyproject toml do for me, because I'm guessing it's a file format that UV doesn't control. So the question is, does that thing allow me to specify something like this? pyproject.toml. Okay, let's see. pyproject.toml. Writing your pyproject.toml. Declaring the build backend. What? Static versus dynamic metadata, basic information, dependencies and requirements, creating executable scripts. About your project, advanced plugins, a full example. Let's see. To install a command as part of your package, declare it in project scripts table. We'll do the equivalent of import sys from spam import main CLI. Sys exit main CLI. I feel like I'm going insane. How are you supposed to make a project where you can run UV run your thing and then it runs your fucking thing? Gemini, help me with. Are you done pumping this shit? Hydra core, dynaconf, pydantic settings, config arg parse. Okay, just quickly checking this out of curiosity. Hydra core, Facebook. I know that guy. 9,000 stars. Look how many dependencies it has. Oh my god. This looks awesome. Hierarchical configuration composable from multiple sources. Configuration can be specified or written from the command line. Dynamic command line tab completion. Run your application locally or launch it to run remotely. Run multiple jobs with different arguments with a single command. This sounds awesome. I just suspect that it's gonna be complicated to get it working and you just can't. My app dict config omega conf. What is going on? The fuck is an omega conf? What? Specifying a config file. Okay, that honestly, this is kind of what I wanted, in a bad way, but this is kind of what I wanted. It's fine though. Now I'm facing another problem. Okay. Let's see. Make their BFSSG, touch BFSSG, init.py, put your stuff in the module there, then reference it in pyproject.toml. So you're suggesting to do this inside the repository, and then I will be able to use that as a script. Okay, let's try. Problem is, can I do this? I don't think I can do this. I cannot do import dot dot and then main, right? I guess I could put in here the business logic then. In the module there. The fuck is the module there? Man, I'm having such a Python moment. How can I get UV to launch my main.py? I'm making a Python package. How can I get UV to launch my main.py when I type UV run something? Something went wrong. I reached my limit. Okay. Goodbye, Claude. Goodbye, Gemini. Welcome, Claude. God damn it, it ate my prompt though. Loris returns. Yes, I cheated on you with Gemini. You don't know that. Actually, I'll tell you. I'm gonna be honest. Gemini. Ruminating on it. Anyway, I'm writing a Python project. How can I make UV run my main.py when I type UV run something? Infidelity confession. This is gonna show up in my future streams, and like people are gonna see this and they're gonna think I'm a fucking moron. We thought you be something. Oh no, it took the something a little bit too literally. Hopefully it did not. Let's see. This allows you to find custom commands that can be executed using UV run toml tool.uv script something equals python main.py. Okay. I mean, there's no way this can be wrong, right? That has to be right. That has to work first try, so. I don't know, SSG build. Unknown field scripts expected one of. We got lied. Claude lied to us. Project.scripts. Failed to spawn build. No such file or directory. OS error 2. Hello, Temporus. Failed to spawn build. Okay, so this is not how this works, huh? Project scripts and then. Right, because this is like, this makes a installable package, I think. Oh no, also, wait, this is supposed to be expressed differently. How are things? Not bad. I upgraded from Zig to Python. I decided that it was time. Also, my old static site generator, that thing is fine. But you know what? I'm gonna make a better one, a blazingly fast one, in Python. Main CLI is a function in the spam module. Right. So okay. So I guess I need to accept the human suggestion. Thank you. I was hoping that the AI would lead me to success, but apparently I still have to rely on smelly humans. Sorry, Osmo. Awesome. Wait, Ozomo. I'm joking, by the way. Thank you for your help. Let's see. So we have to move CLI. Okay, let's call it SSG. Move CLI SSG. Let's call it SSG. Then we, I guess at this point we move main.py in there. Like we don't need main.py in there. Move main.py in CLI underscore init underscore dot py. Oh, what am I doing? SSG. Okay, and then Py project, we do something like SSG colon main, right? That's what we're saying. But it's not a script, it's something else. It's something else. Running scripts. Is this it? Oh fuck, we saw it somewhere. We saw it somewhere earlier, and then we lost it. I don't know. Tools, projects, running commands. See the scripts guide. Bro, it's like, it's almost like I'm asking this like weird example, right? That people just don't normally care about. And it's like, dude, how can this not be one of the main things you explain? How can this not be the ABC? working in development mode. We're not seeing the UV light. Yeah, we're definitely not. Wait, it was in there somewhere. I lost it though. Oh no. Using tools. But can I use my tool? Can I use my thing? So before I use somebody else's stuff, can I use my stuff first? Working on projects. Well, you clearly do not run your own project, I guess. Building distributions. Integrations. Docker. Well, good thing we have Docker integration. And now I'm back here. Okay, let's see. Did you also happen to post here what it is that we needed? Wait, so what do I have in here? I have build, and it's SSG main. So this should kind of work, right? I think maybe it's project.scripts that's wrong. Yeah, so is it project.scripts that's wrong? UV running commands. No, that brings me back to the weirder stuff. I don't know. UV run package. Run. Like, why can't it run random shit and it can't? Oh, you know what? Wait. It can run stuff from my dependencies, so it really should be able to run my stuff. So why is SSG maybe not a module or something? Fail to spawn build no such file or directory. Huh? Huh? Run the command within the given project directory. I mean, yes, the current one. All options to be must be provided before the command. Okay. There is an endless amount of options. That looks like it, right? UV workspaces dot hello colon main. But if it's my init function, like it also it says UV run build. It says and fail to spawn build. It's like, wait, UV run zine, and that runs zine. Why is it running random executables from my CLI instead of picking up commands? How do you say UV run a command? I think I now understand. So the problem is that this thing run and install commands provided by Python packages. Is this what I want to do then? UV tool? UV tool list. Wait. No tools installed, of course. This is like blowing my fucking mind because why is this explaining immediately all these weird use cases and not the one where I want to run my own project, the main function of my own project? Dash script. Oh no, but that's UV init. Wait a second. Add dash script. That's a different concept of a script. Shebang now. Oh, there we go. Tool UV index. Oh, that's another thing. Settings. Okay. Tool.uv conflicts. Constraint dependencies. I'm going insane over this. Is this really the Python experience? Osamo, do you have any suggestion? I'm completely stuck on this. None of what I'm saying makes any fucking sense. Like, nothing makes sense at all. At all. Like, how do I run my fucking shit? Run commands. UV run. Prior to every UV run invocation, UV will verify that the log file is up to date with the project toml. Guarantees the command is running in a consistent environment. UV run the... Right, but then if I change the directory, I have to use another path? Really? They do run SSG? No. Invalid escape sequence. Syntax. Invalid escape sequence. Where is this coming from? In Viper? What is UV? No, UV is the latest and greatest package manager. I mean, you've seen, right? The experience is radically improved compared to the past. What's wrong with Pip? Good question. I don't know. So UV run main.py. That's it. That's how it has to be. And then my dependency is leaving me in the dust. So Viper is failing me. Am I in a virtual environment? I think I'm not. I was hoping this thing would do that for me. So I also have to do that shit. UV sync and then source being activate. The virtual environment must be active to run scripts and commands in the project without UV run. No, so technically UV run should be enough. UV run should do that for me. I think we're looking at a different problem here. Okay. UV remove Viper config. Goodbye Viper. I'm sorry. It was nice though having you. So install click, I guess. Also, right, UV add click. Also, so what name are you gonna give to a CLI command argument parsing tool? Click. Okay. Why is it click? No idea. But I guess it is what it is. Click command. Click that option -- help prompt. Oh, that's supposed to be a string. Okay. Prompt. You don't want that default. May want default, I guess. Man, I have all these editors open. Okay, I don't know. Hopefully, we made it better. Let's see. Right. How do you run a command then from the CLI? No, wait. These are right. These are like what are they called? Decorators, right? So we decorated our thing here, so it's correct for us to not provide any CLI, any argument in here. The thing will do all the magic. Why is this not working? Is it reflecting on the argument name and seeing that it doesn't match? Is this the problem? That was the problem. It was reflecting on the argument name, of course. Okay, so mkdir sample Then path exists through there, okay, true, file, okay, false. Wow, you can even do this stuff. So samples, I don't know, let's just add a couple. It doesn't return anything. It knows. Okay, let's see. Let's see then how it works. Wait, is it okay or okay? In which way? I'm assuming it's short okay. Oh no. It's the long okay? Okay. But we are not doing great. Yeah, remember value for content directory sample does not exist. Yeah. We have two files. How comes that we're not picking them up? I guess we're filtering them out here. Let me print files. I guess we might be, you know what? There might be a dot included in that file extension. Yeah, of course, there's a dot included in the file extension. To add the E. Add the E. Where do you see the E? Okay. Oh yeah, no, I was testing the error. Okay, so MD files. Okay, now it works. So we got files. We got markdown files. Man, but this still is a problem, right? Because if I wanted to create like a proper website directory, so the way it would work is that in sample I have mkdir content move bar md foo md in content. And then from here, I would want to do this UV run, but this doesn't work. So I have to do like this, and then dot. No, it's content, right? So now it works, which means that now I can omit this. But I still have to reference this file like with a relative path. This is so weird. It's kind of absurd that there is like no simple way of saying, yeah, look, just run this thing as a CLI tool, at least within the confine of your own project. Anyway, I guess we kind of got it working, so yay. Okay, so we have the markdown files. Awesome. Then we want to pass those markdown files, I guess, to some kind of markdown converter, right? So we have markdown, so we can do import markdown. So click. Thank you for your help. I think we're good for now. No more Viper. It's kind of sad that Viper does not work. By the way, the 0-star library so far has been performing splendidly. It's doing a lot of questionable things, but it's working splendidly. So Python Markdown, huh? Markdown, let's go. Documentation. No, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? We start with the front matter stuff. What even is my front matter dependency? I even forgotten the name of my dependency. Of course, it's just front matter. Why did I expect anything else? Python, it's this one. No, it's not this one. Wait, this is saying install Python dash front matter. That is definitely not what I've installed. Oh shit. Oh shit. I installed just front matter, PyMD front matter. So we have front matter, we have PyMD front matter, which is the one that I think integrates with the thing that I'm already using, but it has 0 stars. Release history. Do we have any information about any like usage metric? Any information about what's going on here? No. Why would we? That's fine. Then we have Python front matter. So that's the one that I thought I was installing, but then no, I installed something else and I didn't notice. So this is the one that I thought I was installing. Instead, I ended up installing this one from John Beebe. 12 stars. ISC license. What? Internet Systems Consortium. Last updated, created 7 years ago, last updated pip file. Wait, is that a dependencies.txt or whatever the name of that file was? No, because this is TOML. Right, so this is something different. Like, right, it was a requirements.txt, but okay, so I installed by mistake this other random package. So this one is the one that we want. UV remove front matter. UV add. Oh no. There we go. Okay. So now we can do import front matter. Okay. Let's see. With OpenSF from matter.load, I'm thinking that we need to take every markdown file and map it to maybe a class of our own. We kind of want to make a class for our own document, right? Page. I have no idea what we want to put in there, though. Also, do people still write a full dunder init every single time? Self and then FM. I don't know. Do we even need a page? Let me think about it for a moment. If it's a data class, oh right, data classes. I forgot. Right, for those you don't need to write init. So okay, let me think what we're doing in here. So what we're kind of doing in here is basically we have markdown, more than markdown files. This is like more like MD paths, MD names. I don't know, MD paths. And then we want the actual files, right? And so we want to basically do Front matter.load f. So there is no way for us to pass an open file to this function in a list comprehension, but also not close it. It's kind of annoying. Unless we make a function for it. We could make a function for it. So, okay, def loadmd path. And in here, we do with open path. Then how does it work? So let's see, with open path as f. And then we return f.read. That's it. And then we do load md. Well, yeah, this is where we basically kind of would like to not lose basically everything that we had before. And we would like maybe to keep some of this stuff around. So let's do it. So how's a data class? Oh, actually, we saw how to do a data class. We saw it in the implementation of this amazing dependency, which I closed. Get folder file. Wait, what was that name of that thing? List all files recursively. Oh no, that was a name tuple. Never mind. Yeah, but I don't want to keep this stuff as a tuple this way, man. This is already ass as is. I don't want to make it even more turbo ass. Python data class, whatever that means. Oh, it is a class which you just slap at data class on it, and you have to import data classes from data classes. Import data class. Okay. So name. Wait, does it even have a comma? Yeah. Do you have to use types? I don't know. Name fm. I don't know what's fm. What the type of fm is. In any case, name fm. Then maybe path. Or we could use this approach, but in a slightly different way. What do we have from our dependency? So that one gives us folder file path ext. Wait, what does file mean? What is file? For filing file names. Okay, so it's a file name. Directory path. Okay, so it's directory path and file name. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so we do page at data class. So we do page equals x dot dir, I think. Name equals x dot file, comma. fm equals loadmd of x dot path for x in md paths. I think something along these lines. Now watch Python scream at me. Let's see what the problem is. FM is not defined. I don't know. How do you... Let's see. x.dir. It doesn't like x.dir. What was the name of that thing then? Oh, folder. Right. Okay. Content name bar md fm is an empty string. Can we start from the beginning? We're pretty much still already there. Don't worry, you didn't miss out on much. Okay, so what's the problem with load fmd? Right, there's no problem. It's because those files are empty. So this is it. So okay, so instead of files, we call these pages, I guess. Okay, so we have all the pages, and next is turn the pages into HTML. So let's go do that. And actually, we could kind of do it as we're doing this, because in the end, this could, at this point, here's what we do. Let's pass it the full name tuple. I don't know. Let's call it info. We pass it X. We open the file. We read it. Yeah, but we don't return it. So we do it's kind of like this, but okay, so we read the file source. Then, so this is not going to be like this. We want to return the page once we're done creating it. So we read the source. Then we pass it to front matter. So we do fm equals front matter dot load s. We pass it the source. Or actually, we can even pass f, right? So load f, and then we do HTML equals something like markdown dot whatever it's going to be. Let's take a look at markdown. Markdown on markdown. Well, yeah. Okay. So HTML string. So an info folder, info file, FM. Also, yeah. Why multiple lines when one line can do, right? Oh no, but we have to because we have to reference it. Never mind. Markdown dot markdown. I think that was it. I already forgot. Yeah, markdown, right. And then you do fm.content. There we go. And that's what we return. Okay, let's see what Python has to say about this. Right. We don't have a markdown. There we go. Got it from matter. HTML is empty. Okay, let's add some content to these things and let's see where that gets us. There we go. We got h1 bar. So that works. There we go. We got page foo in there we go. So, okay. Next. We got the pages, we got the front matter data, we got the content rendered. Next is we need to load templates, right? So we need to answer that every page also specifies some kind of, like, let's call it layout, some layout key. And then we need to load those layouts. So it's time to incorporate Jinja, I think, in the mix. So how does Jinja work? Optional dependencies. Markup safe. Escapes untrusted input when rendering templates to avoid injection attacks. Okay. Overview. Basics. Actually, high level API. I like high level API. Wait, no, okay, let's start with basics. Jinja uses a central object called the template environment. Instances of this class are used to store the configuration in global objects and are used to load templates from the file system or other locations. Even if you are creating templates from strings by using the constructor of template class, an environment is created automatically for you, albeit a share one. Most applications will create one environment object on application initialization and use that to load templates. In some cases, however, it's useful to have multiple environments side by side. If different configurations are in use, is to use package loader. This will create a template environment with a loader that looks up templates in the templates folder inside of your app Python package or next to the yourapp.python module. It also enables auto-escaping for HTML files. I mean, can we do it like more normal where I tell you in which directory to look for this stuff instead of going insane? Different loaders are available to load templates in other ways from other locations. They're listed in the loader section below. You can also write your own if you want. Yeah, not that. It's like I just need a reasonable in between. Base loaders, base class for all loaders. File system loader. That's our friend. That's our boy here. File system loader. There we go. Copy. A list of file paths can be given. We are not gonna need that. Okay. So we're gonna need this guy here. Then we're gonna need the rest of the basic stuff. Copy. env equals environment loader. It's gonna be this guy. So we don't need package loader. We do need file system loader. Okay. So I think templates is fine. Or rather, no. Kind of like this. Okay, so we have the environment. Then how does it work next? To load a template from this environment, call the getTemplate method, which returns the loaded template. To render it with some variables, call the render method. The variables go here. Oh snap! Oh, but we can quarks. We can totally quarks the front matter, right? So this is gonna be interesting. Okay. So here we have the env. Then we do env get template. Well, then for each page, we want to render the page, right? So honestly, it's almost something that we want to do here at this point. The problem is that if we do this, then pages cannot refer to one another. Let's do it later. Let's do it here. So rendered pages is gonna be this is analysis compression. I think this time is gonna be a normal loop. So for P in pages, if I remember correctly. Also, do we render it in memory or do we output? I think we output at this point. Yeah, I would say so. Okay, Python create directory. OS don't make dir. Pathlib is your friend, but W3 School says to use OS make dir. I mean, how can this not be awesome? Make dir public. For P in pages. Wait, what do I do once I create a dir? What's the return value, man? Wait, it tells you what you pass in. It doesn't tell you what you get back. Dude, what is the return value? Geeks for geeks. Let's go to geeks for geeks. OS make dir. Wait, it doesn't return anything? The directory is created, an exception is thrown. That's it? But from pathlib import path, directory path dot make dir. Parents true exist, okay, true. rglob. Wait, are you saying that what I'm using a dependency for could be done with just a single call? Nah, just no way. How can I create? Wait. Oh my god, they override division. They override division to do path concatenation. Guys. Guys, why are you like this? Oh man. Pure path. Okay, so for pinning pages, then we want to let me see the print stuff their path is content. And name is... Okay, let me try to create something nested then. Let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't strip content. Oh, that is so annoying. My dependency is like... I mean, it makes sense. I understand why he does it. It's just annoying for us. But I'm sure we can find a workaround. Okay, so for peeing packages, we want to do... well, first of all, we want to get a template, right? So T is going to be env.getTemplate. The template needs to be page.frontmatter square bracket layout. Oh, also I called it templates. Oh, you know what? Let's commit to that choice. Template. And that's it. And I guess we need to do something with that T, which right now we don't know what to do with it. What's your problem? There's no key template, right? None of these things has the template key, so... mkdir failed? Yeah, the problem is that this is not... None of this is the right thing, because what I want to do is remove one component from the prefix. I'll probably do it by basically... what's it called? Slicing. I'm just going to slice the string. It's fine. So let's see. We're getting a problem with mkdir. File exists public, right? So we want to say to mkdir... We want to say to mkdir that it's fine if it exists. Dude, please wait. Wait, am I saying the wrong thing? It's pathlib. What am I doing? Okay, pathlib. Object-oriented file system path. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want for my paths. For them to be object-oriented. Exist, okay. Okay, exist, okay, true. Get template. Now I should complain that the template doesn't exist. Template not found. Yeah. Index.html not found in search path templates. Correct. Let's make it. Key error template. Wait, how do you grab stuff from front matter? Wait, what's going on? Wait, what? But wait, what am I missing? Oh. Oh. Okay. So we're succeeding. Get the template. Then we need to analyze the template. Go back to Jinja. Template.render. The variables go here. Okay. T.render. T.render, and then the variables go there. So it's going to be p.fmt, no, fm, then star, right? Want to splat it there. And here's the only problem, though. With this, the content. So the problem is that this has a content field which contains the markdown itself. So you know what? Let's do it for now like this. So this is fine. And let's print. Yeah, so this prints nothing for now. Let's print the title, I guess. So this works, but then if I try to print content, so I don't know. The problem right now is that content is, content is empty? Fuck? Wait, is this, if I put random names that don't exist, oh, there's no errors. Okay, that's also interesting. But yeah, fm.content, wait, fm.content is not a, oh, we're doing dot, so it's not a field in there. So we want to do fm square bracket content equals HTML. And then we actually don't need a separate property for this, since fm is what we're passing down. There we go. Oh, but it's escaped. Pipe HTML safe. No. Pipe safe. There we go. We have generated these pages. Okay. So what do we do next? Next, we don't want to print this stuff out, right? We want to write it down in a file. So we're gonna do public divided by page dot dir path slash how do you slice stuff in Python? I don't remember. It's with colons, right? So you do a suffix, you do p dot dir, well, you do content, you do len of content colon divided by fm p dot name. Prefix something like this. That's actually not true, because that's not what we want to output. Actually, technically, we would want to output them all as index.html pages. So it's something like this, and then len content. What? Wait, you can do .len? Since when you can do .len on strings? That's man, it's been a while since I haven't touched Python, huh? Oh, wait, that's the Z version. Oh, you're right. God damn it. Wait, so I got it right. I got it right. I think I got it right. Okay. Divided by that and slash index.html. So that's our file. That's our output file. And then we do, how do you create a file given a path thing, path lib, touch, symlink to, hardlink to, rename, replace, owner, group. Write bytes. Open the file pointed in first byte to open the file pointed to in bytes mode, write data to it, then close the file. Write text. Data encoding, errors, new line. I guess we want to write text. Are we truncating the file? An existing file of the same name is overwritten. The optional parameters have the same meaning as in open. Okay. Out.write text. Not such file or directory, public bar, index HTML. Right. Oh, I guess we have to do it like this, right? Out there, and then we do it without the index, and then we say out there.mk. Wait, yeah, mk there. Also, I'm putting semicolons everywhere. And then we do out is out there divided by index.html. And that's what we write to. Empty there, got unexpected keyword argument exists. Okay. Exist. Oh. Not such file or directory slash blog slash foo. What? Oh, what am I doing? Not such file or directory public blog foo. I think it's the thing where I also need to create the parent. Okay. Yep, that's it. We did it. It works. Yeah, like it worked. You know, Python. Man, Python has it all. Python -m. Although we want to start this inside public. It works. So Okay, like we kind of did it. I mean, it's obviously extremely bare bones, right? This is not a real static site generator. Let's set aside the fact that there is no error handling. But on top of that, also the templating language isn't really all that featureful, because right now all it gives you is the rendered content, what's in the front matter, and that's it. For example, the concept of saying, give me the list of pages, that doesn't exist. Give me my next page. Give me the concept of sections. None of that really exists. So, yeah, but at its core, a static site generator is, if you import dependencies, it's trivially easy, like really trivially easy. Now the question is, how long does it take to run this stuff? Like, how long does it take to build this website? I don't know. There's also a bunch of garbage in the middle that makes it hard to know what's going on. But like, I don't know, hyperfine this. So let's do warm up. It takes 70 milliseconds to render 3 pages. But again, there's like UV doing stuff. There's Python starting up doing stuff. This is not really measuring the pure like runtime required. By the way, having a progress bar, it's actually wouldn't be too bad. Maybe we could actually add that. In any case, this is kind of it. We have a Python static site generator. It's really the bare minimum. It's just a handful of lines, and you just glue dependencies together, and you do not much past that. Honestly, probably the most complicated part of everything that we wrote here would have been this recursive thing, which we also got as a dependency and didn't have to write ourselves, although it's kind of silly. But yeah, that's it. So how do you expose functions to Jinja? That's, I guess, the only question that I'm left with. I guess you just put them in the namespace, like you put them in the environment, and then you're just expected to call them with parentheses, and that's it. Oh wait, can you even call functions in Jinja? Now that I think about it, I guess these functions are something that you I guess it's something that you have to use special syntax for, is it not? The context. Note and identifiers. We'll just import a function. Yeah, but in terms of syntax in the templating language, I don't think you can just call a function with parentheses, right? You have to use the pipe syntax, I think. I wish the docs kind of showed me this without too much stuff. Yeah. For example, list x join is this. You can call func. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of it. What an adventure. The hardest part was the hardest part was, I don't know, running my stupid freaking project, which you can't do in a nice way. You just have to do relative paths. So weird. But in any case, we have it. we have it. We have the basics of our static site generator. It's not that complicated. Okay, I think that this is it for me today. We did this. We have it working. It's actually not outrageous. I mean, I would be curious to see how this would end up being if we were to fully flesh it out. It wouldn't be surprising to anybody that it would be like 1 or 2 orders of magnitude slower than Zine. I mean, it already is at least 1 order of magnitude slower as is. But yeah, it's in the end, it's reasonable. I still stand by my opinion that if you're writing this kind of stuff, is this the Midnight Realm? Yeah. So I stand by my opinion that if you're writing this kind of tool, you should just not be writing this stuff in Python because it's just a bad choice. Developer tooling of this kind should be designed to deal with big websites, big files, and Python and other high-level languages are just not the right tool for that kind of job. And if you do use a high-level programming language, then you just end up with, problematic behavior occasionally that you just cannot fix because the thing doesn't give you a way of fixing it. Like you kind of locked yourself into that ending the moment you chose a high-level programming language. But that said, if you're making a static site generator for your own use because you have your own blog and you just want to have some control over how this stuff works, because the reality is that here we don't have full control. We have some control, but we don't have full control because a lot of stuff is decided by us, by our dependencies. They do offer you knobs to tweak things, but still they don't allow you to design everything. Kind of by definition, because for example, the languages that each one of them implements, you don't get control over. The language is what it is, right? So you just buy into that ecosystem and that's all you get. Like in Jinja, for example, with curly braces. But still, it's reasonable. And it's actually fairly easy. I mean, like it's like a handful of lines. Seriously, I spent more time trying to figure out how to run my project from the CLI than it took me to actually implement the thing. Keeping in mind, obviously, that there is no error handling, really. I'm just letting exceptions do the error handling for me, like the Python panic thingy. Python stack traces are doing the error reporting for me, which is not great. But yeah, which is what people do normally. No, I mean, come on. Like when people do this stuff seriously, they do a better job. But yeah, I don't know. Probably loadmd could be put inside page so that it becomes behavior inside of page. Could be page.load. And then in the thing we do page.load. Probably wouldn't be bad. In any case, minor things aside. Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you had a fun time. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully I will be able to use this stuff in my talk in a month or so. So thank you all, and I will see you next time.